Yo, what is up, everybody? Teresco back again with another story from the series titled Insomnia Horror Collection, written by Noctis Draven. Remember to use the links in the description below. Show love to the author, like, comment, and subscribe. Story number 3, The Other Sister. So, my mother was really strict. Okay, no. She was damn strict. Sometimes outright abusive. See, it was my sister, my mother, and me. Usually with the occasional random boyfriend my mom would bring home. So you can imagine everything being really tight. Food, money, space, and mostly patience were limited supply around wherever we called home time. This day in particular was horrible, as I recall. My mother's then boyfriend had taken the doorknobs off the door to my room, and my mom had locked me inside as punishment for turning the television off without placing it on the right channel first. So, when mom came in and sat down, she turned on the TV, and bam, wrong station. She lost her mind, and there I was sitting on the bedroom floor, looking at the walls as my mom, my sister, and Randy left for dinner. As messed up as that sounds, and it is messed up, that is not what made it horrible. She had taken my phone, killed the Wi-Fi, and my windows had been nailed shut. So yeah, I was quite literally a prisoner. Sure, I could have broken out the window and left, but eventually she knew I'd have to come back, and it just didn't seem worth the drama anymore to fight her. Besides, I was almost 17, and I knew my days, they were numbered. I occupied my time by flipping neighbors off that they were passing, blaring my radio, and playing a Nintendo handheld that I hid from my mom. After a couple hours, I got bored of even that, so I leaned against the wall, slid down to my bottom, holding one of those super bouncy rubber balls you get from the vending machine. I started throwing it against the wall, opposite of me, and catching it as it came back. It wasn't much, but the rhythmic pattern I guess did something for me, because I kept doing it. The sun started to set. Worst of all, I had to use the restroom. I knew they would be back any minute, so I just went in an old Pepsi bottle I had next to my bed. Sadly, I planned for these occasions. There I was, throwing the ball, catching the ball, and throwing it again. It was a vicious circle that I had no idea would take a turn to something worse. On what must have been my 7,000th throw, my reflexes slowed, and I missed the catch. It hit the knuckle on my right hand and bounced into the nightstand, finally rolled under my bed. I kind of slouched against the wall, too lazy to go after it. But after a minute or so, I broke down and proceeded to belly crawl to the edge of my bed. When I lifted up the bed skirt to look under my bed for the ball, I became nauseous with fear at what I saw. There, crouched down on knees and elbows and sandwiched in an impossible contorted angle, was my sister. Everything inside of me compelled me to get up and jump right through my glass window to get away from this thing, but I couldn't. I stared at her She stared at me. Her face seemed to shake and tremble as she looked back at me with glassy, teary eyes. Her hair seemed wet and greasy, and she seemed very, very wrong. This was not my sister. Not only did my sister leave with my mom and her boyfriend, but this was something else. Something dark and not natural. She just trembled, frozen, her contorted, squished position, the ball just inches from her mouth that was now drooling onto the hardwood floor. This was my sister's body, but not her soul. It was an empty shell and something that did not belong in our world. I was frozen for how long? I do not know. Our gaze was only broken. She began to try to speak. It came out as only a groan and wheezy, no coherent words. And then I heard a crack and pop as her arm began to extend outward. I heard the front door to our home open and Mom laughing with my sister. I jumped up and bolted my door and began screaming, banging. Mom ran to it and opened it. She was pissed, but I didn't care. I stood in front of my sister, my real one, and hugged her. She looked at me and apologized for Mom being so cruel to me. As she could see, I was visibly shaken. A year later, I joined the army and never looked back. I'm not sure why I saw what I did that day or what it meant. I just know that I will never forget the day I saw my other sister. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the end of story number 3.